Hey guys, Antorus the Burning Throne raid is coming out really soon, so I wanted to make a video just to go over all of the healing trinkets that are going to drop in the raid. I'm going to go over my thoughts on them, and I'm also going to take all of the healing classes into consideration when talking about each of these trinkets. And this includes Resto Druid, Resto Shaman, Holy Paladin, Holy Priest, Discipline Priest, and Mistweaver Monk. There's a total of 6 healing trinkets that drop from the various bosses in the raid, and just to note that this guide will not take into consideration the legendary trinket that is going to drop from the final boss. That may come in a later video. We'll see. Okay, the first trinket that I'm going to cover is called Ishkar's Felshield Emitter. Now, Ishkar's Felshield Emitter drops from the Antorus High Command. The stat on this trinket is plus versatility, and the exact amount will range depending on your item level. And the item level that I'm using in the example in this video is Mythic, so it's 960 plus. The trinket's use is, you place a Felshield on an ally, absorbing the damage for 9 seconds. When the shield is consumed or expires, it explodes, dealing 50% of the absorbed damage, split amongst all enemies within 8 yards. So right off the bat, it seems like this is going to be a good trinket for Discipline Priests, since not only do you place a shield on an ally, but the shield expires and then deals damage. It's not an outright healing trinket, seeing as it has no direct heal, but a shield instead. Holy Paladin is my main, and I try to stack crit as my primary secondary stat, but after that, it's sometimes a tie between mastery and versatility, depending on what playstyle I'm trying to achieve. The only class that has it as a priority secondary stat is a Mistweaver style monk, so I'm a little torn as to what class would benefit most from this trinket. I think that this trinket can prove to be powerful in 5-man groups. Placing this on the tank will not only give your tank a nice shield, but when the shield expires and explodes, it will also contribute to your group's AoE damage, so this trinket is not bad when you look at it in that regard. Highfather's Machination is the next trinket I'm covering, which drops in the Coven of Shivara. Its main stat is Mastery, and the equip bonus is, your healing effects have a chance to apply a charge of Highfather's Timekeeping for 1 minute, with a max of 5 charges. When the ally falls below 50% health, Highfather's Timekeeping is consumed to instantly heal them for health per charge. Mastery is a great secondary stat for Druids and Holy Priests, after Intellect of course, so Druids and Priests may tend to favor this trinket because of that. It looks like the effect on this trinket is passive in order to apply these charges. So when your ally falls below 50% health, however many charges they have on them are consumed to heal them. I like that this is a passive trinket and that you won't have to change your playstyle in order to benefit from it. You're still going to heal as you normally do, and as a result of that, there's a chance that your allies will gain these Highfather's Timekeeping charges. So that's cool and all, but my question is, are these charges limited in any way? It says a max of 5 charges, so is that 5 charges per ally, or 5 charges distributed total, meaning one ally can have 3 charges and another can have 2, or did they all stack on one single ally? Either way, because there are 5 charges to it, with 5 people per party, these 5 charges will hold more value in protecting your group, in my opinion. Next up is Tarratus Keystone, which drops from Portal Keeper Hazabel. Its primary stat is Intellect, which is great for all healing classes, and its use is, open a portal at an ally's location that releases brilliant light, restoring health split amongst injured allies within 20 yards. So, although it has Intellect, the use of this trinket does not seem very powerful at this point. It has a 90-second cooldown and will essentially become another spell for you to use every 90 seconds. The fact that the amount of healing listed is split between injured allies within 20 yards doesn't seem very significant either. And a 20-yard radius isn't super large, so I feel like this trinket will have to be planned very carefully when used. I'm not too sold on it right now though, so despite the fact that it is nice and has Intellect instead of something like Versatility, I'm still on the fence about it. Carafe of Searing Light drops off Varimathras and is another trinket with Intellect as its stat, which is super useful for all healing classes across the board. Its use is, sear an enemy with Holy Light, inflicting holy damage over 18 seconds. Restores mana each time damage is dealt. This is a nice trinket for mana regen, in particular for Resto Druids, who tend to have the most issues right now with mana management. So the thing is, you need to select a target to inflict the holy damage as a DOT, or damage over time, and with each tick, you'll restore mana over 18 seconds. The cooldown is only 1 minute too, so this is looking like it's going to be really great for mana regen. All in all, a solid trinket for both raiding and 5-man groups. Garothi Feedback Conduit drops from the Garothi World Breaker. This is another trinket with Intellect as its primary stat, and the equip bonus is a stacking haste buff, which reads, Your healing effects have a chance to increase your haste for 8 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. This is more likely to occur when you heal your allies who are low health. This haste buff sounds like it could be awesome, with 5 stacks like its own heroism, but if you look closely during the duration, it's only 8 seconds, which is a little concerning to me. It could be that each time you gain a stack, the 8-second timer gets refreshed, but the question is, how often will it stack? Will you often make it to the 5 stacks? Either way, this is one of the trinkets that I would definitely use if I had the opportunity. Not only do I really like the plus intellect on it, but all in all, a buff to haste is never a bad thing. My heals will cast quicker, so it'll be a win-win. Vitality Resonator from Essence of Eonar is the final trinket to cover. It has versatility as its stat, and its use is redirect the life force of an enemy, increasing your intellect for 15 seconds. This grants more intellect when used against targets at high health. As I mentioned while I was talking about the first trinket, versatility isn't the ideal first stat that healers will want, but the fact that it is a buff to your intellect could prove to be useful. So it's not a healing trinket in a sense that the use or the equip bonus has no outright healing, it's simply a trinket for buffing stats. The duration of 15 seconds isn't bad at all, and with a 1-minute cooldown, if you use it on cooldown, it can prove to be useful since intellect increases the magnitude of your heals. Alright guys, so that was just a quick rundown of the 6 trinkets that I wanted to cover in Antorus the Burning Throne raid. I really want to know what you guys think about these trinkets, which ones you plan on using, you know what healing class you are, and which of these trinkets appeals most to you, which ones that you guys are going to be looking for when you go through this raid. Thanks for watching the video guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, and if you enjoy my channel, please subscribe to the channel to show some support, and I'll see you guys really soon. Have a great day.